Open up your mind, think of who you could.
Showboating sports, guys. Man, I don't know if you guys heard this yet, but Bob Arum was talking to a person that was doing an interview, and he asked Bob, he said, "Hey, Bob, after Danny Garcia's impressive victory that he just had the other day, are you guys willing to make an offer to Danny Garcia?" And Bob Arum, to my surprise, he was like, yes, but this yes seemed like a definite yes. And I think that has a lot to do with the numbers that Terrence Crawford and Americon pulled in. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I don't think that they pulled in 150,000 pay-per-view buys. When really Tom Rank hadn't released the numbers to that yet. They're slow on releasing that because they do know that that fight right there, even though it was a good fight, a good fighter to put on Terrence Crawford's resume, it wasn't really a good fight for Terrence Crawford because it does nothing to his legacy and it does nothing to keep pulling him up to a closer fight with Errol Spence, because what Bob Arum tends to do is keep making his fighters fight supposedly good fighters from across seas like Russia and stuff with good records, but they haven't fought any name fighters that are proven like the Danny Garcias or the Kell Brooks. And Americon is a good name, but he was a better name years ago. And Bob Arum is still trying to rely off of some of the things that certain fighters have done in the past, like what Americon did in the past. But like I said, it doesn't help Terrence Crawford now to prove his worth in the welterweight division. But a fight with Danny Garcia would prove his worth. It definitely would, because Danny Garcia's only two losses are with Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. And the Keith Thurman loss was an arguably loss. Even though I kind of put Keith Thurman a little bit ahead, I actually put Sean Porter ahead a little bit more than the Keith Thurman fight with Danny Garcia, only because Danny Garcia wasn't letting his hands go. And Danny Garcia knows that. I mean, you know, all fighters do believe that they've done enough to win on most occasions. But Danny Garcia, when he looked at that tape, he knows that fight with Sean Porter was not as good of a Danny Garcia versus his last showing. I mean, Danny Garcia went in on his last fight and he handled business. He looked like the old Danny Garcia. That's the Danny Garcia that was champ, and that Danny Garcia right there can potentially become champ again. It's going to be hard to get through Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, but Danny Garcia doesn't need to keep sitting around waiting for Keith Thurman and Sean Porter and talking about their rematch. Go after another belt. You could go after Terrence Crawford. You get Terrence Crawford's belt, then you right in line for the winner of Sean Porter versus Errol Spence. But if you don't want those fights, then hey, keep fighting the second tier guys. Be the best of the second tier. But if you want to get to the top, then that's what you got to do. And if Terrence Crawford wants to get in that ring with Errol Spence and be more than this, he's not even in my eyes a side B. You got side A, side B, but he's almost falling down to C. Because the reason why I say he's almost falling down to C is because if you can't get better names to fight, and with the fighters that you're getting fighters that are a little bit past their time, and you think that's going to get you up there? Nah, man. Fighting those kind of fighters are going to get you back down to maybe the high top 10 fighters. That's what it's going to get you. And Terrence Crawford is a really good fighter. But the problem is he signed back with Bob Arum, and he knew better than that. With so many fighters running away from Bob Arum, why would you ever go sign with Bob Arum? You saw Mikey Garcia left. He had to sit out for 2 years. He felt like sitting out for 2 years was better than keep fighting with Top Rank. And it actually did, because now he makes way more money. You see Pacquiao left. Now Pacquiao is back with these really good fights. Bob Arum should be in a nursing home. That's in my opinion. But hopefully Bob will do something right for the sport, because Bob is 87 years old. He might outlive me or a lot of other people, but the chances are Bob ain't going to live to be 150 years old. So whatever Bob is going to do now, Bob needs to make moves, and Bob actually needs to take a seat back, and whoever's in Top Rank, allow them to take over and start trying to save this company, because the way this company is going right down, and you never know what Bob's health is going to be. 87 years old in the thick of things, that's a lot of shaking and moving, and it helps him stay young, I'm pretty sure of it. But Bob Arum does need to make Danny Garcia a fight, a really good offer. Pay that man some money, get some butts in those seats, and you'll get a return on your money. And then you'll get the other fight that you've been wanting with Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. You can probably get the winner of Earl Spence Jr. and Sean Porter, because Earl Spence has to get past Sean Porter, which I feel he would. I think that would be a really good fight between Danny Garcia and Terrence Crawford. I would love to see it. My money would be on Terrence Crawford. If Danny Garcia shows up like his last outing, man, that's going to be a really good fight for both of them. And you know, if you guys don't know this, that Danny Garcia and Terrence Crawford have fought twice previously, but it was in amateurs. Danny Garcia beat Terrence Crawford the first time. Terrence Crawford beat Danny Garcia the second time. And this right here would be a really good way of finding out who's the best man in their professional careers, because you can't really count their amateur careers. Well, guys, hopefully they'll get that done, and I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and stay with me, because as I hear about it, you'll hear about it. That right there was straight up, no chaser, guys. So until next time, I'm out.